4. Listening to. Are boot camps effective? 4A. Expanding the topic.
Today we have documentary filmmaker Thomas Adair with us. Mr. Adair has completed a number of projects on the justice system in the United States. Mr. Adair, thank you for talking to us.
Hi.
We've been hearing about boot camps as a form of punishment for young offenders. In your filmmaking, you've had a lot of experience with young people who break the law. What's your opinion of these camps?
I think they're basically a good idea. They offer kids a form of discipline in their lives. They're a way of giving kids a second chance.
I understand what you're saying, but if young people commit the same crimes as adults, why should they be treated differently? Shouldn't they be punished like anybody else?
Well, that's a popular view, but I disagree. There are repeat criminals who don't care about breaking the law again. It's going to take a lot of time and effort to change people like that. But I think with young people, first-time offenders especially, there's still a chance. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think that criminals should be punished. But we can't keep on throwing young people into prison. I mean, so often they just go to prison, get out in a few years, and wind up back in prison again. It's a revolving door. But if we can look at what's missing in a person's life and change his behavior, then that's what we should do.
In these boot camps, there's a lot of military routine. Stand at attention, do push-ups, say yes sir, no sir. Is that what appeals to you? Is that the kind of discipline you think kids need?
Well, I'm not usually a believer in harsh punishment, but I think in these cases, that kind of discipline, yes, it's needed.
Have you always felt this way?
No. If you had asked me 5 years ago, I would have disagreed with the military aspect of boot camps for kids. But now, after spending time in boot camps and seeing how they work, I think that the problem with a lot of these kids is that they don't have structure in their lives. They don't have guidance.
And you think boot camps provide that?
Well, some boot camps are more effective than others, but it's a form of punishment that gives kids the chance to think again about who they want to be.
Crime statistics keep going up, despite all the effort and money spent on criminal justice. Isn't it a little depressing?
You have a point, yes, and I agree that there's an emergency in our society. But in my opinion, the biggest problem is not crime. It's a sense of hopelessness and pessimism, negativity about the future of these young people. As a group, they're poor and powerless in this society. And there just aren't that many of them. How can they be responsible for all the problems in our society? But if you read the newspapers, that's the impression you get. It's ridiculous. We should be committed to helping them become decent adults.
So in your own work filming these kids, you've developed a different opinion from the one you started with.
Absolutely. I've met some inspiring young people in prison, people who made mistakes, okay, but they still managed to turn over a new leaf. I'm an optimist. From my own experience, things are not nearly as bad as they seem in the media. Most human beings want to have hope and optimism. These tough kids do too. We can't just call them punks and slam the door in their faces after 1 or 2 mistakes. Boot camp may not be the whole answer, but it's a step in the right direction.
Well, we're out of time. Thank you, Thomas Adair.
My pleasure.